Alright, this is a review of the Fnatic vs Cool Tigers games. I'm streaming and I'm going to record it live as well, so I'm not going to pay attention to the chat, the viewers. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. I haven't watched the games yet. I've only seen a couple of drafts. I obviously know what is going to happen in the end, but you will have like while I'm going through the game, this is the first time I'm going through throughout the game, so you will have my genuine reaction to most of the things, even though we know already the final result. So throughout the game, obviously, I will be surprised, hopefully. And first of all, we jump into the pick and ban. This is we've been I've done these before. There's going to be something very similar, and I think these games should be interesting at least, even though it was very one-sided result. So we start up with the pick and ban. Obviously, the thing to highlight is when Gragas has been removed from the pool, it raises the priority on Rek'Sai when Elise is banned. So Elise ban is very common, and from either side, like Elise ban will be common on blue side and on red side, because it kind of forces the priority on Rek'Sai. And in this particular scenario, the big question I had when I saw this draft, as I mentioned, I've seen this draft before. The big question I had was, is it worth taking Rek'Sai over Lulu or Tahm Kench? Because the enemy team is obviously forced to ban something. You have also like the space of the Shen. You can almost guarantee yourselves to set up the pick and ban in a way where you can assure that you get like a Tahm Kench and the enemy team gets Rek'Sai or something like a trade like this. Because in my honest opinion, even though Reignover has been playing a shit ton of Rek'Sai the entire year, I feel like this tournament has shown that Lulu and Tahm Kench are just bleh, right? So it's with that in mind, like this is just a question I raised, but I still understand the priority on Rek'Sai and these particular bans, because they set themselves up in a decent situation regardless. Because Rek'Sai at this point in time, in this exact draft, Rek'Sai is going to be the strongest early game jungler, so I just don't mind it. It's just a question that I like having raised before we continue. And the first rotation, Kalista Alistar, I think it's pretty decent, especially in this tournament, because especially against Fnatic, because they haven't really shown that they are willing to play Janna at all this tournament. When scenarios have arrived for that, to be honest, almost no team want to play Janna in this tournament. And Janna would be the hard counter to this lane, together with something like Tristana. This is why I'm so surprised that in the rotation we see coming up next, we see the Nautilus and the Cannon. Since we haven't seen Nautilus, there's no way the Nautilus is going top, right? There's no way. Like Huni or Nautilus, we're not going to see this. So the flexibility in this is strange. Sure, Nautilus has a fine matchup into Alistar. Sure, I don't mind that. But what I find, what makes me struggle with the Cannon. Sure, it's a flex, blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. It's like the flexibility is weaker in Cannon simply because it's so easy to pick strong champions in both bottom and top that are good champions overall, that will pretty much do good against Cannon. So the flexibility of Cannon, even though you can put him everywhere, as people like to say, it's very easy to pick strong champions into it and just not give a fuck where it goes. So already we have the Alistar and Kalista. Bottom lane already, it's very hard for Cannon. This lane matchup is very, very hard for Cannon. They're going to pick it. So that is already solved. Top lane, they can do something similar. But we saw them pick Riven, which was also strange to me. I thought people would prioritize Fiora, especially someone like Smeb. But then again, we saw in the game where Fnatic played against EDG that Huni was very confident in the Riven to Fiora matchup. But I would, in most cases, prefer Fiora here. But the argument can be made that Riven might do well into Fiora, and that is how Huni perceives the matchup. And of course, I think Riven can do fine into Cannon regardless. That's completely fine as well. And then on top of that, you have Zac. I remember when I was on the analyst desk, I was talking about how I was kind of hoping these jungle bans kind of like the Gragas being gone, Rek'Sai being first picked, no matter what you pick in this scenario is going to be like a subpar jungler. So picking something like Zac, I think Hojin just enjoys it. I thought he would go Lee Sin, because if my memory serves me right, I think he played a bunch of Lee Sin in the past. But Zac, obviously a jungler, very weak in the early game. Very, very weak in the early game, but he scales so well. Like, he farms slowly in the early game, or not too slow. Like, he farms slow compared to other champions, but when he reaches the point where he's 7 and 9, he's super powerful in team fights and his ganking, you know? So it's a question of how much can the Rek'Sai do before the Zac becomes useful. So he's gonna fall behind in farm, he's gonna fall behind in experience most likely, and fall behind in pressure, but Zac kind of compensates that with his power late game. But then again, the more consistent way of playing is having the stronger early game jungler, because you are the one in control, while the team with the Zac is not going to be that much in control. We see the blind pick LeBlanc. I think it's completely fine, simply because Kuro has shown to play like the Lulu, the Azir, etc. These safe picks, I think it's completely fine, especially with the fact that they have the Rek'Sai and the stronger jungler. It's quite easy, regardless of what they pick in mid, what they're going to, like, pretty much, what am I trying to say? They're going to be able to pressure this lane regardless, simply because they have the stronger jungler, and that is just how the dynamic of the game works. They also picked the Hecarim into the Riven, which is considered to be a good matchup for the Hecarim, simply because you can get the cloth armor with the flask, and obviously he can go Ninja Tabi into the Riven, and it's very, very cost efficient because he gets 80 from the movement speed as well, and it's generally just a good matchup. The Kassadin as well is considered to be a good matchup against LeBlanc, but you can still pressure the Kassadin with the jungler, especially with LeBlanc and the chains. But in general, Kassadin is considered favored in this matchup. So right off the bat, we can see that Fnatic have the stronger jungler, they have the pressure, they have a way weaker bot lane, way weaker bot lane. This is so weak. Cannon is like, I can see it already that Cannon is not going to be useful this game, simply because of Alistar and things like Kassadin as well. Is just, I just feel like people are overrating the Cannon flexibility, you know. I like it with support, I like it with top laners when there's a lot of bans for top, but in general, I do not like it. It's like, I think it's good, but comparing it to things like Lulu and Shen is just beyond me, because as I mentioned before, it's very easy to hard counter something like Cannon, Azir, Alistar. There's a lot of things, a lot of things. So we move on. Game start, please. Yeah, you guys are beautiful. All right. We have Kassadin with TP as well. It's like already, I'm thinking, you know, the game plan should be to just give up the bot lane, just FF the bot lane, you know. I would even consider lane swapping. I would even consider lane swapping for Fnatic side, simply because it's easy to pressure the mid. I'm just curious to see how the bot lane matchup works, but like the thing with Nautilus is he's very, very strong pre his first base, but after he bases once, he's killable. Before he bases the first time, he's against the Doran's only AD carry. He's very, very strong, very, very strong. So KOO go for the lane swap. The question is if are they predicting it, or are they just lane swapping themselves? I would kind of assume that they predict Fnatic to lane swap, simply because I think it hurts Riven more to be behind in the game than Hecarim. But then again, Hecarim being behind in the game as well is pretty shit. Yeah, both are pretty weak if they're behind in the game. They are basing already. I wish I could see the lane here. Okay, they're just freezing the wave, I think. Yeah, the wave top is slow pushing. Very interesting. Okay, I need to rewatch this because this was very strange. Okay, so they're just pushing in the wave. Okay, they're just pushing in the wave and they're just bouncing it back. And same thing happened bottom. Alright. Okay, okay. But when did the Fnatic bot lane base? Okay. Alright. Pretty strange. So this is going to be very common. Eventually he's just going to split, like slow push out and he's gonna get ganked. I think this is the right approach for Fnatic, but KOO is playing properly, doesn't need to burn flash, still has TP, so he's in a very good position. Especially since the enemy laner, like LeBlanc in this case, went for Flask. So she invested a lot in the early game. Kassadin doing that is not equally bad because he scales very well, but so does LeBlanc in the late game, but it's more about what they can do on 2 items, and Kassadin with 2 items can do a lot more than LeBlanc with 2 items. Depending on the size of the items, obviously, but... They are filming the wrong thing. It really, really pisses me off. So as we predicted, you know, Zach is pretty low, and like he just farms so slowly, and he's behind on experience. This is just what is going to happen. But I'm quite not sure what Reignover is trying to accomplish here. He's playing in a very obvious way. Fabiven is slow pushing. KOO doesn't need to take any risks. So KOO is playing this wonderfully. He's going to fall behind simply because Zach is not going to provide pressure. This is just the upside of the Rek'Sai pick. It's like Zach cannot contest the pressure that Rek'Sai applies because Zach is just going to lose. So KOO playing the lane swap game, you know, back to the lane swap thing, you know. Now we kind of realized why KOO want to lane swap. Simply because Rek'Sai, if the game proceeds, Zach is going to be stronger. And the lane swap scenario is going to put the junglers in a scenario where they need to show and they need to pressure one specific lane, push waves, and go with the top laner. So with that in mind, it's starting to make more sense why KOO Tigers lane swapped. Zach is slow and really bad early game. Lane swap is going to put them in a scenario where that doesn't really matter because it kind of speeds up the tempo of the game. And then again, Fnatic, the reasoning why they pushed up bottom and instantly swapped is because they want to be in a position where they can have the standard lanes and Rek'Sai does not need to show. So now it makes sense, alright? We are learning, I am learning, okay? We're going into the minds of Fnatic and KOO Tigers. It starts to make sense. They are lane swapping simply because Zach is so weak early game, okay? But Reignover has had some really pathetic ganks in mid. You know, sometimes if the enemy mid lane is already afraid of you, then you don't need to show up. You know, if he already feels the pressure off of you, you don't need to show up. It was very telling that KOO knew that he was about to get ganked. So to me, that was quite pathetic. So at this point in time, Nautilus is pretty strong. Very, very hard to like punch through him because he's very tanky. But after the first base, he kind of falls off. This is what I don't like about Nautilus and so many other players. Because the thing with Nautilus is, if you compare him to other melee supports, Alistar has his ultimate, unkillable donkey, or cow, or whatever you want to call him. Braum has his E, unkillable. Nautilus, W, 200 health shield, not so good, you know. Does not save him from obvious death. So with that in mind, Nautilus, after the first base, falls off. Does not have something that makes him unkillable, but pre-first base, his base statistics are very high. His E does a lot of damage, his W is a big shield, and he scales well off of the early health that you get from runes and the relic shield item, right? But after the first base, he kind of gets smashed by a lot of things. Alistair in particular. It's like what is happening mid might seem very like, oh, Cassidy is doomed, 20 CS behind. This is completely fine. You know, Reignover being ahead of the Zac is also like, this is supposed to happen. KOO Tiger's power spike is going to happen as soon as Zac reaches level 7, Cassidy gets his catalyst, and they get rolling. So this gold advantage, this is just something that happens together with the Rek'Sai. It's just very, very common. As soon as Zac can contest the Rek'Sai pressure, then it's going to be fine. So like at this point in time, this game is kind of playing out as kind of predicted in the champion select. Nothing in particular. Hojin being behind, Reignover being ahead. I wish they could show the matchup bottom a bit more. Alright, that's pretty good from Yellow Star. Really, really good. This Ignite is no good. Rek'Sai is top side. Huni knows Hojin needs to be bot side if he doesn't show. And Rek'Sai, this is like common that Rek'Sai just scouts the camps and instantly knows because Golems and Red is alive that Zac is going to be bottom. Huni gets that information, backs off, which is all good. Fnatic get the early game pressure they get from the Rek'Sai. Alright, it works. It works. Pretty good hook from Yellow Star, pretty clutch. Probably shouldn't get hit by things like this. Core is going for the Rod of Ages. We have Athene's Unholy Grail on Fabival, which is completely fine as well. I like it. Smeb should be dead here. It's a very, very awkward scenario where KOO Tigers. This is like I was hoping KOO Tigers would be like this unbreakable team, you know, since I already know the result between Fnatic and KOO Tigers. I thought they would seem solid, but mistakes like these is where I start to question them, you know. In a situation like this, they want to contest the Drake. Sure, they send their bottom. But this is what happens right here. Reckless is going to make a slow push, makes it really, really, really hard. This makes it really, really hard for Riven to do anything here. She does not want to be in a position where a wave slow pushes and she does not have any vision at all. This is very, very rough, and this is why I'm starting to question the Zac pick even more. I was really, really hoping for the Lee Sin because it actually gives them some kind of remote chance to contest things like the flow of the game. But if it continues like this, Fnatic should be able to win because Smeb is screwed here. Bottom, after that trade, it's like at this point in time I think they should have pressure bottom. But Smeb is kind of screwed. Here he is screwed. He needs to run already. He cannot be here because he's blind. So the thought process for KOO Tigers should be in this position to, okay, now it makes more sense to me. It makes more sense to me what KOO Tigers are trying to accomplish. They know they're stronger bot side, so I'm assuming they send Hojin down bot side to try to get vision, which they actually do. They have vision in this area. If we take a look at the minimap, they have vision in this area. So never mind, this is just a mistake from Smeb. If Rek'Sai does not show up here, then he's top lane. You just have to make that assumption. He should not die in this scenario. He has to make that assumption. If Rek'Sai is not spotted on these wards, he needs to be topside. 100%. So him falling behind is just Rek'Sai having pressure, obviously. It's very common. It's good that I make these review videos because I feel I've lost the touch of reviewing. It's good that I keep active. Right? Okay. Okay. Alright. So this was. So I don't know if Yellowstar is a genius that baited them or something. But we should know at this point in time that Zac is still around the bot lane. Right? We don't have any information on him. I don't see the reason why Yellowstar is overextending so much. We don't have the information yet. Rek'Sai needs to show up. I think what Yellowstar did was very dangerous. It's like ever since Zac stepped into this jungle earlier, we haven't had information on Zac. So I feel it's very dangerous what he's doing. But maybe he's a genius and he saw this coming. Oof, oof, oof. Hoony, hoony, hoony. This ult was actually insane. So 3 for 4. Obviously, very worth for Fnatic. They have waves in good position too. Top lane. Slev is so fucked because he was slow pushing from earlier. Like, look at this top wave. He's so screwed. Like, he's so screwed. This wave top is slow pushing. It's slow pushing. And Hecarim's gonna get this. And then the wave bottom is so big as well. It's like, sure, you might think 3 for 4 is not a big deal, but just because of the positioning of the lanes, it makes it a lot worse. Like, mid barely lost any CS. Top lane now is once again screwed. Hoji needs to be around this area. He needs to take a risk. But then again, Reignover got spotted, I assume. Let's take a look if he gets spotted. Yeah, he gets. Does he get spotted by this ward? My assumption is that he got spotted here in mid. That's the only thing that makes sense. This is quite hilarious. Like, to be fair, I thought Fnatic would win too. I'm not gonna lie, I thought Fnatic would win too. So Reignover does not clear the pink. He's too scared. But he should actually clear this pink. Why is he scared? Bottom is pushed in. He should clear this pink. No reason to be sissy boy. So I'm assuming Rek'Sai got spotted. That's why Riven got to push out. I think it was just better for Rek'Sai not to show at all and just form his own jungle. So what was happening here? It's very strange to me that they want to set up for the dragon at this point in time. It's like they could screw over the Riven so hard. Bottom has pressure, bottom has vision. There's no need to set up for the Drake. Hecarim is under his tower. Riven cannot see us, so why would you set up for the Drake here? Riven needs to leave top lane at this point in time because she cannot sure they spot the rain over here, but it would be so much better for me if Rek'Sai just doesn't show and they don't pressure the dragon. I really don't see the point of pressuring Drake here. Hecarim is still stuck top. He doesn't have TP. What is the point? What is the point of forcing dragon here? Oh my goodness. It really makes very little sense to me. they have pressure on every lane on the maps. So let's see, maybe they slaughter them here if Hecarim comes here in time. So Drake is dead. Zac level 7, boys. Oh my goodness. They were in such a good position. Oh. Oh, this is dirty. Oh. Oh. Why did you do Drake, my friends? There was no point. Okay, let's see. Maybe they will kill them all. Maybe I'm just completely wrong. Okay. Okay. What? Nah, he's dead. Fabian has ult. Yeah. Okay. Gorilla still a god, I don't care. So 3 for 4. KOO Tigers got Drake though. But still, it was so strange to me. I felt it was way too close. I feel like playing it differently on the map would be better for Fnatic in this particular scenario. Because here, what is Gorilla doing? You know, to me, Gorilla should walk into this LeBlanc here. He has no reason to chase after the yellow star. Because he kind of wasted Pulverize. Like if he had this Pulverize ready for this cluster of people, it would be so good. So I'll show you again when he wastes Pulverize. I think it's pretty key. He pulverizes there, right? Or am I wrong? Yeah, he pulverizes. Yeah, he does. So that was not good. Okay. Fnatic expanding the pressure. Good. They have plenty of kills. Like they are still in the same boat as they were when I was complaining about the Drake. Like they are so strong on every side of the map because of Rek'Sai and his ultimates and Hecarim winning top and like LeBlanc being strong in mid in general. I feel like they should just separate the map and let Rek'Sai do his thing. When I say separate the map, just play your lanes. Take Rek'Sai to get vision control whenever you push out, as they have done in this top lane area. Like Rek'Sai was here when Hecarim pushed out earlier and placed wards, and then you do the same thing on bottom side, which is I like this play a lot. It's very good. Okay, this should be good for Fnatic. Rainova doesn't have flash. Okay. Alright, good for Fnatic. JK. Yeah, they should be all dead. Well, not all dead, but Rector should be dead at least. Oof. Okay, let's rewatch this. Where do we go wrong? Where do we go wrong, my friends? So, insta double TP response. So the problem here is we are committing on an Alistar. We're committing on an Alistar that has Alistar ultimate. Yeah, Alistar has an ultimate, guys. And then there's a Kalista on this team. And on the other side, we have 2 teleports. With the roster, like, if you take a look at the right side, I'm thinking, holy shit, they have Zac and Cassidy, they will chase us like dogs. So, with this in mind, right here, we are forcing this ultimate, but Rainover, my friend, why did you flash in? You know, Rainover flashing in here is what kind of kills them. What is this? Clown Fiesta. Clown Siesta. So Rainover, my friend, you cannot flash in like this because you are fucking your entire team. Alright. KOO playing wonderfully though. I really like to see teams willing to sacrifice things like CS, because sure the waves are in good position, but I really like that KOO have this play in mind. It kind of feels like KOO kind of play as if they have this play in mind. Hojin was in the right position, and I really liked it because we could kind of figure out Fnatic's game plan ourselves. So when you're behind, you need to kind of, this might sound very wrong, but you need to kind of hope the enemy screws up. As we said earlier, Fnatic game plan was just to push out top, put vision in this area, and do the exact same thing bottom. And by the time Fnatic was supposed to do it bottom, because it's kind of like the flow of the game is very easy to follow if you're in the game. Rek'Sai was bottom side, and they kind of predicted this play. Ho-Ching was bottom, and then if Rek'Sai just didn't overcommit, they would be fine. But they punished that mistake very well, and now KOO should be in a dominant position to win this game. Regardless of the goal difference being very close, I still think with their team composition, we've talked so much about Zac scaling and Kassadin scaling in his lane phase, and also the fact that Riven at some point is going to beat Hecarim because of his itemization. Then, sure. Oh, this is. I'm assuming this is the pink word that everyone was talking about, like on Reddit. I'm just gonna check it out if it was relevant at all. No. It has no difference. It makes no difference. Look at this word. Do you see my mouse pointer? This word spots everything anyway. It's like I'm not saying Fnatic has lost at this point. I'm just saying at this point KOO don't look like the losing team anymore. So this word spots everything they're doing anyway. So I don't think this bugged word has any relevancy at all. Nothing. This word is not even a bug. You know, this wall is very curved. So it's kind of strange, but this is how it works. So Reignover flashing in here was the big mistake. Everyone overcommitted. They didn't need to. If they forced the TPs there and managed to back out, if Reignover actually flashed out, it would be perfect. It would be flawless play. Flawless play. Woodzaga sending the Kassadin in bottom lane, the Kalista into mid, playing a classic 1-3-1. Kassadin and Riven don't have TP, neither does the side of Fnatic. But it's good, very good to send your AD carry into mid against the LeBlanc, because she kind of struggles to lane against them because of lifesteal, and LeBlanc is very weak to small portions of poke. So it's pretty good that they set up with this 1-3-1 where LeBlanc is forced and contained in mid, while Kassadin has a pretty decent matchup into a cannon and should not be too worried. Well, yeah, that hurts a lot. Holy shit. Kassadin is very hard to dive as well, so I like this setup from KOO Tigers. Oof, Kassadin is so dangerous. I love Kassadin. So the beauty of KOO Tiger's setup here, in my opinion, is if they have pressure mid, it's very easy for them to transition it elsewhere with the 1-3-1. The goal of a 1-3-1 is to push out mid, pressure bottom, so bottom is safe, and then push out mid again and pressure top, so top is safe. Well, in this case, Fnatic are overextending big time, because the moment this wave is pushed in mid, they need to just back off. There's no reason for them to be here, even though they have vision. They need to understand that they're facing a Kassadin. It is very hard to get away from a Kassadin. They are pushing up mid, and then they're just roaming into bottom. And they are overextending so much, you know. At this point, Fnatic are fucking screaming, you know. In mid, they have pressure mid. We cannot. They're going to be first bottom. I would be fucking scared, man. Holy shit. The Kalista and the Alistar come here first. Rek'Sai and LeBlanc try to collapse. Let's see how this ends up. This is like the trend of the game. Wait. Oh, Prey fucked up his flash there. Not good. 1-for-1 so far. Should end up 1-for-1 as well. Prey really screwed up his flash. Yo, dog, what was this? What was this? Holy shit, man, you could have survived. So that was pretty bad. Because if Kalista survived, they would have Dragon right here for free. Pretty sad. Prey, disappointing. Seems like I get the Drake anyway. I think in this game, what truly astonishes me is that Smeb manages to stay relevant in the game so well. He's actually like we said three times in this game. I felt he got screwed over so hard, but he's moving at the right times. He's managing to keeping up. He's managing like the CS perfectly. He's playing marvelously this game because three times in this game I remember when we said that he got screwed over big time. Oof. Really, really impressive. Alright. Huni managed to ward up the top side jungle. Alright. With Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai has side stone. KOO Tigers want to set up 1-3-1 as well. Again. It's very, very hard to decide where LeBlanc is going to go. Because LeBlanc bottom, even with Ignite, is going to lose against Cassidy at this point. In mid, she's losing against the Kalista. It's very, very hard to decide where LeBlanc goes against Cassidy. That's why Cassidy is considered to be really, really strong against it with TP. Cassidy has the health to kind of sustain the LeBlanc damage. Easy for him to avoid things as well with his ultimate, obviously. I think at this point in time, when Smeb finally finishes Black Cleaver, this matchup will be more even than it was before when Huni was ahead. So this LeBlanc goes bottom. Sure, she farms, she's fed, but still, she's going to struggle here. The biggest issue with this, is the fact that KOO Tigers, they have the better scaling composition, for sure. There is no denying it. They have the better scaling composition. The only thing we have got going on for ourselves on the Fnatic side is the LeBlanc. And KOO Tigers have shown in this game already that they are playing around the dragons really, really well, collapse really well with the 1-3-1, and Fnatic are 2 dragons behind already. So already here I would be very worried for Fnatic. Even though LeBlanc is 5-0-1, I would still be worried. Like on the other side we have a Cassidy with the same statistics, so it doesn't really matter that much. It's very, very hard to decide where do we put the LeBlanc. Do we put it against Riven? That's not even that good. I guess it's better than Cassidy, but still it's pretty awkward. Hecarim is he going to go against the Cassidy with his Frozen Heart? It's pretty awkward in this scenario for Fnatic. They put the cannon in the mid to contest the Kalista. Sure, it's fine. I think it's fine. You have 2 Hydra AD carries, or not Hydra, Hurricane, to push. The mid pressure should be pretty even, but this Cassidy is going to win his side lane no matter what. So this is going to be the big issue for Fnatic. If KOO continues to play this way, they should have pressure bottom no matter what. There is no one they can send against him that will alleviate that pressure. And that is very, very difficult since he has teleport. He has teleport, he's going to be first to every objective. That's a struggle. So the question now is how is the LeBlanc, how can she pressure the Riven or not? At this point in time it doesn't seem like so. Let's take it easy here. Well, this is a really good timing for Fnatic to fight. Really well done by Fnatic. Oof. I want to kind of take a step back to see what put us in this situation to begin with. So, I was talking about how Cassidy has pressure at all times, but at this time he's basing. So we need to take it easy around mid lane. We cannot contest the vision like this. We simply cannot. We still need to be kind of afraid of the Fnatic lineup because they are very strong. They just reached powerful power spikes. We have the Trinity Force. We still have like this team composition that can team fight very well. So we still need to be careful. At this point in time, Cassidy does not have a pressure bottom. So there is nothing that is stopping Fnatic from completely going all in a team fight right here. Kassadin just showed up bottom. He is pressured now simply because he based. So KOO Tigers cannot go to contest Vision. They should be happy that they can contest the wave to begin with, because Fnatic should not even allow this. But they see the fact that Kassadin is under pressure, Huni is teleporting home, Smeb is pushed in, there is nothing that is pressuring Fnatic, and KOO cannot try to contest the mid wave while that happens. Kassadin is just coming out of base, Smeb is just coming out of base as well. They need to be able to have some time to push out. They need to be able to push out. Then they have pressure, and then once again mid lane they can pressure. But at this point in time, Smeb just came out of base, Kassadin just came out of base. It becomes a problem. Big problem. Fnatic see this instantly, Huni bases. Really good fight. They have the vision from earlier when they were clearing. Because Kassadin was once again in base, they have pressure for 30 seconds, they just need to show some patience. Kuro even cancelled his teleport. Oi. They shouldn't be able to do Nasha at this time. Yeah. You are our sacrificial lamb, Smeb. I think it was the correct call to go for the Nashor, nevertheless. Good call to base now as well, because they have big waves, both top lane and bot lane, that they need to clear and push out, and then they can pressure Nash again, and they will be in time for Drake as well, because Smeb is dead. I think it was a good call to just let it go. What is Kuro doing? Some sick cheese. So he even gets this wave. You get these big waves that we're talking about. Huni does not have TP, neither does Smeb and Kuro at this time. Bottom is pushed out. Don't see why Fabiven base for Void Staff after clearing bottom top. I don't really like this base timing. It's very poor for me, because KOO Tigers actually managed to pressure both mid and top at the same time. You know, even though the goal difference is heavily in Fnatic's favor, pressure still matters a lot about what you can do and cannot do on the map. LeBlanc basing for Void Staff, and Cannon just coming out of base gives KOO Tigers some time to ward up. Should be fine though, because they're just so strong at this time. It would surprise me big time if KOO actually decide to contest this dragon. I do not see how they can win. Unless they like one shot someone like ridiculously fast. Are Fnatic going for Nash, or what is their plan? So why is Huni here? Huni has no reason to be here. No reason to stand around here. What I call this move, whenever someone does this, it kind of pisses me off. But this, why is he standing? He's just watching the cinema. He went to the cinema and he bought a front row ticket, and he's just watching the Riven do whatever the fuck. I think she's killing crab. What is he doing here? He needs to be bottom pushing out the wave. He needs to be bottom pushing out the wave, and Rainover needs to be in this area where Hecarim was, be ready to prepare both sides, and Fabiven needs to come into mid so they can actually push out this bottom wave. Because this, once again, we were talking about pressure and how important it is. KOO Tigers were allowed to push a mid wave, they were allowed to push a bot wave. Huni now shows bottom, he's out of position for the fight. Cool, land another dragon. 3 drakes when they are 7k gold behind. That's why earlier I was complaining about base timings. It's so important for the pressure on the map. And Fnatic, we're not pushing out bot wave. We're not pushing out mid wave. They allow KOO to do it for free. Regardless of how strong you are, if you don't control your waves properly, the team is just going to run circles around you. So the beauty of having 3 dragons is that you can delay the game however the fuck long you want. They basically buy themselves 18 minutes of time, or 12 minutes if you depending on how you put it. At this point in time, Fabian is really strong. If they can fight, they should be happy too. Rain over. Aye. What are you doing, my friend? What the? What? Okay. Too desperate. Way too desperate. But I think Fnatic is in a very awkward position. They like it all kind of comes down to the next Nasher. If Fnatic can get the next Nasher clean, then I can see them winning. But if they cannot get the next Nasher cleanly, I cannot see them winning. Simply because of the disparity in dragons. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. Let me rewatch this. So Hojin gets caught. Once again, like KOO Tigers have done this plenty of times in this game, where they try to pressure mid when Kassadin and Riven do not have pressure. They lose so much CS doing this. You see the CS disparities. They lose so much CS doing this, which is pretty awkward. They are forced to TP when they don't want to TP. Like if I was Kassadin in this moment, care mid and pushing up bottom. Riven should say exactly the same. So me seeing these mistakes from KOO Tigers makes me kind of worried for what their performance is going to be against a team like SK Telecom. So Huni ulted for no reason. Like sure he killed Hojin. I guess it's fine. It's fine. I don't think it's a big deal. But this clusterfuck of people we have here. What is this? You know, Kalista ult just hit 3 people. Because we're trying to chase after a cast downer and prey in this area. And then Riven hits her shit on 3 people. And we have a hurricane as well. This is the first time I see a hurricane pay off in a team fight, dude. Oh my goodness. So let's see where the mistake happened. We commit to kill this guy. Okay. We kill this guy, but why are we chasing in here? Oh yeah, that's we are so grouped. Oh yeah. I think they should have just been happy with killing Hojin. It's maybe easy to say in hindsight, but that is what reviewing is about. It's the thought in hindsight. I cannot imagine. Now the game should be over. Now the game should be completely over. Regardless of gold, it should be over. KOO should be stronger as 3 in mid. They should be stronger as 1 on each side. Riven is going to beat Hecarim at this point in time. Hecarim can't do anything to Riven. When she has Last Whisper and Black Cleaver, the armor is completely disregarded. Nobody can spit against Kassadin. The 3 in mid as well is super strong because of Zac, Alistar and Kalista. I think it speaks for itself. Cannon does not scale that well. Nautilus does not scale that well into the game as well. He does not have an ultimate that makes him unkillable for 6 seconds. And Rek'Sai as well falls off compared to Zac. So at this point in time, regardless of gold, 2k, I don't give a fuck. Doesn't matter. They should not be able to win. Like, KOO should not be able to lose this game. I cannot see it. So I'm just gonna fast forward to see if anything interesting happens or if you can spot any mistakes that KOO does. So once again, Kassadin, super strong in the split push. Nobody can contest him at this point in time. Same thing with Riven. Nobody can contest him, her, maybe the LeBlanc, but nothing else. Kalista has the item she wants. Zac has reached the level that he wants to reach. Level 13, super strong. Like when Zac reaches certain benchmarks, he is so unbelievably strong with his E. But he's very, very weak early game. That's why you see this massive CS disparity. Zac was... he was suffocated, you know, like... Yeah, like Bart, Homer Simpson, he just suffocated the Zac. That's why I don't like this pick. It's very, very risky because this game was certainly in Fnatic's hand. They had a lot of pressure. They overcommitted a couple of times with rain over, and it's kind of sad to see because they had the tools. Certainly, they had the tools, especially to be able to like kind of punish the Zac pick. So this game looked a lot similar to the games between KT and KOO Tigers, where KT have a very similar playstyle to Fnatic, where they kind of play around their top lane and try to transition that pressure into the bot lane. In this game, they had the stronger jungler as well. They should have been able to like clinch the win. So let's fast forward. 3 Drakes. Let's rewatch this. I wish. Wait. So what is going on here? Fnatic in a pretty decent position. KOO, how did he end up behind him? I need to watch what KOO was doing. Okay, he just snuck up there. Bottom wave is not pushed. Huni needs to walk out of base and push bottom. Oh yeah. KOO just screws Yellow Star over so hard. Was he actually trying to flash over the wall? I would have reported him if he tried to do that. Okay. Once again, I don't like that Huni chills in base. I don't care about home guard really. At this point in time, you need someone to push out bottom. They have this push in mid wave. They need to play around this side. They cannot contest the vision in this side of the map simply because they didn't push out bottom. They are completely blind here. KOO walks up here because this is pushed. This is pushing towards Fnatic's side. They shouldn't pass this sector of the river. Yellow Star gets cut off. They are walking in blindly into this area. Completely blind because of this mini wave. I wanted Huni to just walk out of base with his home guard, clear this wave, and it would be way simpler. He could even base afterwards and then prepare his home guard. Because here Yellow Star is out of position, walks in blindly to this castle, and that could potentially be there. We saw him pushing bottom earlier. He could potentially be there. That's something that we need to think about while we're in game. Definitely. Yeah, and Riven is so powerful at this time. Oof. Four Drakes. Right. So, KOO did not TP. So once again, KOO Tigers can just 1-3-1 to victory. So what went wrong for Fnatic in this game? They did a lot of correct things. They got, like, on paper, things happened as we kind of hoped they would happen in favor of Fnatic. KOO Tigers had the weaker early game jungler. Reignover had this massive advantage in terms of vision, in terms of pressure. He got CS leads on every lane. But after that, they didn't play this slow methodical game that SKT showed that they can do, SKT also pick stronger lanes and they play it slowly. What do? They pressure one lane, they play around that lane, push out that lane, gain vision on one side of the map. Whenever jungler gets spotted on that side of the map, you do the same thing bottom. But in this case, they had pressure on every lane. Pressure in mid, pressure top, pressure bottom. Then it's very simple. You just walk with your top lane, ward top side. Walk with your bot lane, bot side, and then you just ward the bot side. But instead, we went for this dive on Alistar that eventually got punished. Yellow Star as well, the bottom lane, when he got caught out. Even though they go 3-4, there was it's like even they went 3 for 4 in 2 of these situations, which was fine for Fnatic, but it kind of delays the game a bit more, and that's obviously in favor of KOO Tigers. The big thing for me was Smeb finding opportunities to move from his top lane, even though he was completely screwed over, which was very impressive. Him staying in the game was the key factor behind why KOO could win. Rain over, I feel the biggest problem in this game was that one time when Fnatic overextended bottom after they had pressure mid, and then after that the big problem to me was also Rain over just overextending a couple of times. Many times he overextended and died. Yellowstar did the same, which cannot happen if you have this team composition that is going to be weaker later and you have a big lead. You cannot do trades that are slightly in your favor or like even, because it lowers the percentage of advantage that you have. Like the size in percentage becomes smaller the more trades you do. So obviously these trades are going to be eventually in favor of KOO Tigers, because at one point when Riven has Last Whisper and Black Cleaver, she's going to shit on the Hecarim, regardless of what you might think of the early game or whatever. Same thing with Cassidy. Who's going to deal with Cassidy at one point in time? 1-3-1, very simple. And then on top of that, KOO Tigers have the best engage in the game, fucking Zac. There we go. Oh, this could actually... Fnatic could actually win this. They should win this. Okay. I am talking too soon. I am talking way too soon. So I'm just gonna rewatch this fight to see what went wrong. No, I see what's going wrong now. KOO Tigers are playing way too split up. Why are they... Gorilla is doing a very good move here. He is going in. He just lost his ultimate because he popped it. He popped it here. But the difficulty I see here, why are we committing? Why is KOO Tigers committing on these people? Huni did a wonderful job of chunking the prey. But KOO Tigers can easily just collapse on the Yellowstar and the Huni here. I think Gorilla is doing the correct move, but this Yellowstar guy is a free kill. They're playing this fight way too split up. The moment we get the engage from our Zac in this particular fight, there's nothing to follow up because we burnt everything on Nautilus. We need to play this fight way more patiently if we are cool. But the Gorilla does this wonderful move that he walks in. Much rather see the Castellan collapse here, like go over the wall, collapse here. Zac kind of just wait, do the same thing that Alistair is doing, just stand here so people cannot really affect this. Yellowstar pretty much is a free kill. What is he doing here? No? So this becomes all way to split up. We use our cooldowns in a non-efficient way. So Fnatic take home the victory. Let's take a look what Fnatic do right now. I really like that Fnatic is fighting so compact. They are very compact. They understand that they have a cooldown advantage. Reckless is positioning properly here. His Hurricane is doing work. Good job from Fnatic. They kind of the big thing is though that they kind of punish the fact that they punish KOO for doing those mistakes. Zac engaging in an improper time and Kuro going in an improper time. So the game is all over yet. So once again, Yellowstar, what is he doing? What is he trying to accomplish by walking after him? Huni is completely safe, right? He has his ultimate. He's doing good because these three people are never going to kill a Hecarim with 300 armor fast. This is just Huni is doing good. Yellowstar has no reason to be here. Kuro needs to go here. Hojin needs to stand here, not use his E. Gorilla is tanking them up. These three people are hitting him. This guy is just gonna walk out W the Huni and just walk into this area afterwards. We can kill Yellow Star for free here. Instead, we engage and we split up on targets that are going to regen HP. Like when Cannon has BT and Blade Room King, you need to kill him fast. He cannot lifesteal because look at his HP. It just goes up. It just goes up. No, we cannot kill him if we do not combine our CDs. Big mistake from KOO Tigers. TV on Smeb. Smeb can still pressure, nobody can contest it. He beats Hecarim still very hard. Casted the same. 1-3-1. I cannot really see that this Fnatic, this Baron is gonna win them some time. It is kind of KOO Tigers' game to lose. Fifth Drake. Oh, very important. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Fabian got smashed. Oh my god. Holy shit. He just got comboed by an Alistar, man. There's no Prey is dead, but so is Forbidden. All Prey needs to do is press ultimate at this time. He's not the AD carry. Riven is the AD carry. Holy shit. And that is game. Alright, that is game. To summarize, guys, Reignover overextending. Fnatic had a good lead in the early game. To be able to transition this, they cannot overextend against the double TP because KOO Tigers were very, very sharp on punishing them when they did. Reignover flashing in at bad times, they cannot really go for an Alistar. And then after that, there was this mistake. Like when they end up doing trades, is what is very, very bad. They're doing trades that are not. They might seem like they're in their favor, but when they have these big leads, these trades are not efficient for them. Smeb playing incredibly with his wave control, and I think KOO Tigers, what they need to work on, what I saw in this particular game was the fact that when they play the 1-3-1, they try to pressure mid without paying attention to their side waves. And Fnatic punished that well. They pressured the Nashor, got good waves for themselves. So Fnatic did that very, very well. But KOO Tigers need to communicate better with their side waves, especially when they're playing the 1-3-1. If Kassadin and Riven are going to base, you cannot expect to be able to pressure mid. You should just back off, let Fnatic get what they want. The moment Kassadin and Riven is back on the map, you can do exactly the same and regain control of the map. If you cannot, then it was just a poor timing for basing with Kassadin and Riven. So there is two ways of looking at it. And then, on top of that, KOO Tigers, I think the draft is very smart. I don't think Fnatic had a problem with the draft either. They just need to play more consistent in their early game. Yellow Star was getting caught out a lot. I feel like Reignover was overextending, and these are things that cannot happen against a team that is very ready to punish it with the double TP, the Alistar and the Kalista to kind of bail out the Alistar. So please, I think they should have just played the more patient game, because they had pressure in every single lane. And when that happens, it should be very, very straightforward to win the game. So I think that settles it for this game one. I'm going to think if I'm going to do the next games. Probably I will. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please hit me up on my social media. And God bless.